Hello. Awesome. How you guys doing? So I left that up because that is so true. When I started using WordPress for SEO, I went from ranking clients in 3 months to 3 days. So it changed, really changed everything. So I'm going to be speaking about how I optimize a WordPress site to rank first page of Google. I took this site, a client had the site, he had someone do the search engine optimization and came to me and told me my site is not really ranking well. It wasn't a WordPress site. I told him let's take the site and switch it over to WordPress. To date, he is ranking #1 for I think over 600 search terms. So he's doing really well. So let's get started. A little about me. That's me. I've been doing SEO marketing since 1998. And I call it SEO marketing because it's not just about, you know, optimizing the website. It's what you do after that to get your conversions and your leads. Digital marketing VP at Marketing Group Incorporated in Brewster, New York. I'm a certified Google AdWords professional, WordPress SEO speaker, trainer, teacher, everything WordPress. And I was an executive chef for over 20 years, and last week I hung up my boots. That was it. Done with the restaurant business. So let's get started. Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I want to speak about is, let me just explain how this presentation is going to go. It's going to be a quick overview of what I did with the client, and I'm actually going to go in the back end and show you what I did and show you some examples of other sites and how they work with optimization. But before I get started, I just want to give a shout out to Clint. He did an outstanding job here. He told me he was going to do this a long time ago, and I heard his presentation today, and anyone who's there, it was a testimonial that I've never heard before. It was amazing. It really was amazing, and it was one of the best presentations I've ever heard, and it was about him. So thank you, Clint, for giving me this opportunity. Okay. Excuse me? Oh, I'm Alex Miranda, the godfather of SEO. Okay. I've been called many things, and last week someone said, you know, you really are the godfather of WordPress SEO. I said, all right, whatever. So how do you find a good SEO pro? One of the biggest challenges is when you create your WordPress site and you have a contact form. A few weeks later, or even a couple days later, you start getting people filling out that contact form telling you they're going to rank you #1, they're going to increase your traffic. Everyone gets them, right? You get those emails, and if you fall for them, well, anyway, so we're going to go over this really quick. First thing you have to do whenever you hire, or if you're doing SEO yourself, tell your clients, you know, give them your references and tell them to ask you questions, because those questions they don't ask you, later on they're going to come back and say, well, you know, you should have blah, 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 blah. And so I always start with the questions, because just because someone talks SEO does not mean they know SEO. I've come across it so many times. As a matter of fact, just yesterday I was speaking to someone who they said they were an SEO pro expert, and what they were telling me, I was like, oh my God, you're charging people for this? So it's important you ask questions. Email. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Alex.
If you get an email from an SEO company offering to do their services, just throw it out. Just throw it in the garbage, because if an SEO company is emailing you and telling you they're offering their services, then they probably suck. They really do. I've never emailed anyone. Same thing with phone solicitation. Avoid them if they call you. Again, if they're calling you and they're code calling, then they need to work, and they're probably not appearing. Think about it this way. If they're calling you and emailing you, they're not appearing on the search engines. They're not getting conversions. They're not getting leads. So they're trying to do for you what they can't do. So ranking guarantees. No one can guarantee a #1 ranking. I've never done it. I never tell a client I will get you on the first page. I never tell a client you're going to rank at all. I don't do that. Only Google can do that. They can rank you. Countries. Using SEO companies from a third world country, yeah, they're cheap, but you're going to pay at the end. Believe me, I got a lot of clients who I have to go in and try to fix it. There are some SEO companies from different countries that are great, but you have to do your due diligence, do your homework. When you hire a company and they're from third world, really do your research on them. Go from everything from rip-off report, LinkedIn, do your research. Get references, of course. Ask for multiple references you can call. Use LinkedIn, find them. And check their recommendations, not their endorsements, because endorsements aren't recommendations. A good SEO company or a good SEO professional is going to have lots of recommendations from people saying, wow, this guy did great work, here's what he did for me. Always check their recommendations. And check for yourself. Check the sites they've optimized. Call the people and say, let me check out the site, what keywords, you're getting conversions, and check the rankings. Okay. And I this here. This is online, by the way. It's already online. Check it out. This morning, while I was sitting in this afternoon, I was sitting in Clint's presentation, and I had my laptop out, and I said, you know what? I want to rank for WordPress CT. That way, anyone who types in WordPress CT will find my presentation. I ranked #3 on it within the last 2 hours. So it's easy to do. So now, anyone who wants this presentation, just type in WordPress CT and you'll find it. Okay, here's what search engines are not looking for. Of course, keyword stuffing. Overuse of keywords on pages. That's so old school that even when it was old school, it was no school. So that's no good. Purchase links, buying links will get you nowhere when it comes from SEO. If someone tells you they can do link building and get you tons of links and hundreds of links and directories, tell them thank you, but no thank you, I don't need it. Because they're not going to be relevant links. I never have ever done link building for my clients. It happens naturally. I do the social media end of it and things like that, but I've never told the client, oh yeah, I'm going to do link building for you, give me another $1,000, because it's just not going to happen. I mean, you can do link building, but I don't do it. Poor user experience. If your website has a poor user experience, poor usability, no matter what you do, you could be ranking on top. You're going to get high bounce rates. People are just not going to stick around on your site. If your website is flash, you can forget about it. You're losing a lot of people there. So that's very important. I have turned down many jobs from clients who have approached me and their site looks so crappy that I'm like, I just can't help you. But check out what happens. And anyone here who does SEO and is using this is not a tactic, it's great. If you're not using it, use it. What happens is someone approaches you and tells you, hey, I need search engine optimization, and the site is honestly no good. You tell them, hey, listen, I'll rebuild the site and roll in your SEO into the site when I build it. And I've never had a client tell me no, because they know I'm being honest and telling them the truth. They check my referrals and my references, so they're going to believe me. Old content. Is your site outdated? Does it have old content? What are not search engines looking for? Look at that. I just saw that. What are not? That was to get everyone's attention. So you're going to ask yourself 4 questions. These are the 4 questions I always start with. I go a little faster. Who are you? Right? Who are you? What do you represent? What's your brand? Right? Where are you located? Why are you searching for this? And who you're trying to reach. 4 questions I always ask my clients. Now I always give them I have a discovery process where I give them a form and they fill it out so I can get, know something about them. But these are the main questions. Who are you? Where are you? Where are you searching for this? And who are you trying to reach? So this site here, simple WordPress site. Nothing fancy, no custom, nothing. It's a template that the client wanted. So this is the site I'll be reviewing. So different types of keywords, and this is important. So you got broad and popular keywords like coffee machines, WordPress. I use coffee machines because they're a coffee company, so I wanted to use that, and I use WordPress because we're at WordCamp. So let's say you are a WordPress developer and you're trying to rank for the term WordPress. It's not going to happen. So don't waste your time with broad or popular. If you try to rank for coffee machines, Amazon's ranking on that, and so is all the other big players. Niche, not too shabby. Commercial coffee machines, WordPress SEO expert. Now you're starting to rank, right? And then you got long tail keywords. Commercial coffee machines in Westchester, which is targeted by location. WordPress SEO expert in New York City. Now I'm not saying you're not going to rank for this, because I certainly have a lot of clients ranking for niche keywords. But if you're just starting out and you want to see quick results and say, yay, I did it, that's what you need to go after. Okay. Install plugins. So there are a few plugins I install. The first one is Google Analytics for WordPress by Jules DeVos. He's the guy that makes the WordPress SEO plugin. You do not have to install a Google Analytics plugin. You could hard code it. If you go into the editor and the header, or if you're using Genesis, SEO framework, you can hard code it. Oh, who asked that question? What does that mean? You take the code from Google Analytics, copy and paste it into the header of the site. Okay, Google XML Sitemaps by Arnie Bradshaw. Now, if you're using Yoast WordPress plugin, then it's got its own sitemap, and you just do it from there. WP Robot.txt by Christopher Davis. I'll explain what the Robot.txt file does, but that's very important. You need it. You can also just add that, FTP that with a TXT file, but I'll show you why you need it. An SEO plugin depends on what is right for you. I use all-in-one. I use the WordPress Yoast plugin. I sometimes don't even use any plugin and just go with Genesis if I'm using the Genesis framework. If I'm using the Genesis framework, I always stick to just Genesis and I don't download any SEO plugin. Check your general settings, your site title. So when you're in your general settings, make sure you have your site title on there. Make sure you add your URL. Believe it or not, this is stuff that I've had clients that none of this appears, and I'm like, okay. New York time zone, here's a good tip. By default, WordPress, I think, comes with time zone from the West, I'm pretty sure, from San Francisco. So you have to go into the time zone settings and switch it to UTC -5, or make it easier, New York time zone. And you could just click the drop-down button, and I will show you guys what it is. Date format, make sure you have the date format correct, because if you're in another country, the date format might be different. So you want to make sure that's correct. Time format, make sure that's correct. 12-hour, 24-hour. Okay. Next, we go into our writer settings. So on the writer settings at the bottom, there's what's called the update services. And there is one service called Ping-O-Matic, which is owned by Automatic, who owns WordPress. And what it actually does, it notifies different ping services whenever you do a blog post, whenever you change content on your site. I use it a lot for blogging. So it'll notify the search engine and different ping services. What are ping services? Services like FeedBurner. There's so many of them. I have a list, I'll show you. Blog search, RPC, Ping-O-Matic, FeedBurner, Bing, Webmaster. See over here how I put Euro Coffee XML sitemap. So you can have a sitemap on the site, but this right here will allow Google to immediately index it. And that's one of my key ingredients in SEO, and that's how I get sites to really rank immediately on WordPress, is using these codes right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because once you do that, the minute you click update, the ping services notifies Bing, Google, and instead of waiting a few days or a couple of weeks when you get indexed, you get immediately you're getting indexed. Ping-O-Matic has about, I think, 20 ping services, and it comes by default installed in your WordPress. All you have to do is copy and paste these and then replace Euro Coffee with yours. And then there's a list of 75 more. You don't have to use the list. You could just use this and it works just fine. Check your reader settings. Make sure search engine visibility is not checked. Because if it is, you're not going to show up on the search engines. You're going to edit your robots.txt content, and I will show you the robots.txt right now. So by default, what the robots.txt does, it tells the search engines when they're indexing a WordPress site or any site, what to allow the search engines to index. So by default, it disallows WP-admin, the admin, of course. You don't want your admin to be indexed on the Google search engine. The includes, and right here, it's not a disallow, because I didn't put disallow. It's telling them, here's the sitemap for my site. This is what you need. Now it varies from site to site, but usually this is general. The CGI bin, the includes, content plugins. You see over here your comments, your trackbacks, comments. I don't allow any of my comments to be indexed because you get a lot of spam and people adding their URLs. And not only that, if you have a page where it has a ton of comments, Google will pick up those comments as content on your site and it could screw up your SEO. So I always make that no good. Also your trackbacks, your tags here. Tags and categories. If you have multiple tags and categories, WordPress, Google considers that duplicate content, so because it's WordPress, so you have to disallow it. And actually, I think the Yoast plugin, pretty sure I don't use that much, but it has a thing where you can, and the all-in-one SEO plugin has a thing where you can disallow, I'll show it to you, the categories and tags. So remember, if you have 2 categories, that's 2 pages of content that's duplicated. And check your discussion settings. I never leave it open. I'm always the moderator, because then if you leave it open and let people just put whatever, you're going to get all kinds of Viagra stuff on there and things like that. And your permalinks. Now there's different ways to do your permalinks. Never use, I actually saw this on someone's site today when we were at the Happy Bar. We were at the Happy Bar. Someone showed me a site someone built for them, and it was using this. I was like, oh no. So, of course, you want your custom structure or something like that. If you're... I was going to say, which of those do you recommend? This comes out pretty much the same as that. Yeah. But this one, I use that one. If you are a member of Google News, I don't know if anyone here a member of Google News, where your site gets indexed by the news? Oh, okay. Well, if you were, you would put a number after that 3-digit number. Targeted content. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. You want to make sure your content is targeted and it speaks the language of the person you're trying to find, or the searcher, and I'll explain that. So, let's take a look. So this is the site, Euro Coffee, and course, it's easy to see that they want to rank for coffee machines, commercial coffee machines. What they sell is they sell and rent coffee machines to restaurants, parties, delis, bagels, catering clubs. Originally, when they had the site, these down here were just, you couldn't even click on them. But if you went here, let's say here, that's all you had. So when they approached me, I said, well, first of all, we need to take your site and make it WordPress. Second, we need to really target your specific, what you're trying to rank for, and create a page just for that. So you want to make it natural. You really don't want to make it just for the search engines where it says, you know, restaurant over and over and over. So if you type in, let's say, commercial restaurant coffee machines in Westchester, he's ranking on top. So let me show you the back end, what I did with the back end here. Admin. Okay. We will show you the back end of another site because this stinks. How can I do this? Ah, here it is. So if anybody uses Infinite WP here, anyone? Isn't it cool? It's the coolest thing because I can access any of my sites. I could make all my updates, access any site just by clicking here and going open admin, and it takes me to the admin area of the site without having to log in or, yes?
What's it called?
Infinite WP.
Oh.
It's pretty cool. Control all your sites. All right, so let's go, let's start with the very first thing I mentioned, which was your settings, your general settings. Did I see this good? Okay, so site title Zero Coffee, and then they have the little tagline. There's the WordPress URL, the site URL. Forget about that. Forget about that here. So where I was talking about, the time zone. See, New York. And there's my date format and my time format. It's the same one. And week starts on Monday, even though it's Sunday, but on WordPress we do Monday.
Why?
So, because it's something I know I have to do. It's just the way it is on Monday. Here's a good reason why. It really all started a long time ago. When WordPress started, it was a blogging, just for blogging. And they knew that people were blogging on Sundays, but Mondays, people go to work and then they're on their computers all day, right? So why not set the date of the week to start to Monday? That's just my theory, but I don't know. So, writing, yes?
Isn't changing any of these things after you're already going gonna ruin?
No. Nope. You could, it depends. What I just showed you won't ruin it.
Technically, if somebody's searching for a post or something with the old name and you've changed it to a different name.
Oh, you mean that? Yeah, you don't want to. Why would you change? You're not changing the post.
You wanted us to change the format of the post, the name of it. You were just
Here, let's go back. Let's go back. Okay. This is the general setting of the site. If your site is Euro Coffee, but your post is about coffee machines, you're not going to have coffee machines on here. You're going to have the name of the website. So this is just a general set. Anyone who has a WordPress site, if the name of your site is not on your site title, yeah, it has to be the name of your site.
No, I wasn't talking about that.
Okay.
I was talking about when you told.
Oh, I'm not up to that yet.
URL.
Yeah, I'm not up to that. Let me get up to that, and then you're jumping. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Would the tagline affect stuff too?
You don't really need a tagline. They wanted a tagline just because they wanted it right here. Let's go back to the site. This is, they wanted it there, so. But tagline's not important.
That would never affect it?
No.
I wonder if you said, we don't just have coffee, we have tea or something in your tagline, then you eliminated it, then wouldn't it?
But I wouldn't do that. So it wouldn't affect it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't play that. Yeah. I wouldn't deceive my customers into telling them I had tea if I'm selling coffee.
No,
You know what I mean? It's
some of the stuff
okay, so update services. These are the update services I was telling you about. You put them, Ping-O-Matic is right here. All you do is copy and paste them with no spaces, and then you save your changes. And that solves your update service issue. Let's go to reading.
Where is that under, I'm sorry?
Oh, that is under writing. Yep. Then we go to reading. And you want to make sure this is not checked. And I purposely changed the robot.txt content here. This is the plugin. You'll find it right under the reading. And right here is where you would change this to the robot.txt file I showed you. And you would just, copy, paste, boom. You change it and you update.
that appears?
Yep, when you load the plugin, yeah, you won't see it on the left side. Yeah, Mike.
Alex, does the Google XML sitemaps that automatically post, does that augment the Ping-O-Matic thing? Is it duplication?
No, not at all.
Because it's the same thing, isn't it?
No,
Not?
no, because the XML sitemap, Ping-O-Matic is really, it pings different feeds and stuff, where the sitemap lets Google know that you need to index this page, that page, that page, that page. And that's why on the Ping-O-Matic there, I listed the sitemap, Euroquote, so I could let it know, hey, index the sitemap right now. So let's go to discussion settings. So here's how I set my discussion settings. I allow them to post new articles, comments on articles, but comment author must fill out name and email. And over here, comment must be manually approved. That's the important thing right there. It has to be manually approved. Do not leave that checked off.
If you go back up,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up,
Yes.
and you take out allow link notifications from other blogs, pingbacks and trackbacks, will that undo Ping-O-Matic?
No, that's a totally separate thing. Trackbacks and pingbacks are when you write a blog post and someone wants to take your blog post and share it on their site. So that's a trackback. It'll let you know that they shared it. Okay, then we have permalinks, of course, it's right there. So now I want to show you the plugin, which on here I am using the Genesis SEO plugin. So as you notice, I did not load all-in-one SEO or the WordPress. Yoast plugin, because Genesis has, I think, the best SEO plugin. Anytime I use the Genesis SEO, my sites are ranking extremely well. It's not only the SEO that's helping it rank. There's a lot of other factors. But here's how it looks. You just go, it's the same thing as the other ones. You go here, you put the name, you put the meta description. So let's start with the title. A couple things you need to know about the title. Let's get that out. Okay. So with the title, here is what is going to appear up here, right? And that's a search term. People will be searching. What I always do is I use a title that I can use that keyword in the title in numerous ways. For one, coffee distribution company in Hudson Valley if I want it, or a coffee distribution company in NY, or a wholesale coffee company. You see how many variations of the keyword just with this one title? With this one title, I could probably come up with 20 keywords. And Google or site should only, for each page has to have their own specific title and description, and you never want to duplicate it on other pages. So if your page is about wholesale coffee distribution, that page is just about that. That's what your title is going to be, and that's what your description is going to be. You can only use, it says 70, but I usually use 65 words going across. That includes spaces. You don't want to use stop words. Everyone knows what stop, yes sir.
So is this or is it not
Mhm.
the title that appears at the top of the browser?
Yes, it's the title that appears at the top of the browser, and it's this here. See that right there? That's what that is for each page. And I'll get to that in a second. I'll show you an example. Yeah,
So you're talking about pages or posts?
pages or posts, either or.
Either or?
Yep, they both work the same way.
There's a site title and then a page title, two different things.
This is your title tags
For the page.
for the page. Title tags. Whatever someone's going to search on Google, and that page you want them to search for. If I change this to a tea company, let's say tea, that's, a tea distribution company, my page would talk about tea distribution, and people would be searching for tea distribution. So 65 words, no stop words.
You mean characters?
Thank you, characters. Thank you. 65 characters, no stop words. Stop word, the, that, we, of, a.
What's 65 on a sentence?
Because here's what happened. You see the dot, dot, dot?
Okay.
Then you'll get a dot, 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 and you can't complete it. And then that's the description on the search, right? So as you can see, the description is matching, easily matching the title tags. So whatever you use in there, you have to throw in here somewhere and make it so that they're gonna read that, and you want them to click on that. This is 170 characters, including spaces. On here, you can use stop words. So you want to make sure that this and this match the page. Let's go to that page and see what it is. And that's this page. So as you see right here, here it is, wholesale distribution company. And if I was to hover my mouse over this, see it right there? Wholesale, this, just lost it, right there. See? So all that is pretty much in there. And at the bottom, you have, down here, I just threw that in there. If I had links on here, all links at the bottom, where I see a lot of sites will do that, you don't want to do that. That's like kind of spammy. So that's as far as title tags and meta descriptions. I want to show you.
Alex, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This is for the home page, but,
For any page.
okay, so with this particular, where you're at right now, this
Yeah.
is just. for
Oh, yeah, this one was for the home page. This is the general setting
Okay.
for the home page.
You did not have any keywords listed in the little line down there, some keywords under the meta.
You don't need that. You don't need to add meta keywords because Google doesn't use them anymore.
Is the idea then that for every blog post, we should go in and fill in all that extra?
It automatically gets filled in. Well, yes. For every blog post, you should go in and fill it in, but that becomes a whole different topic about blogging for SEO, because I'll show you at the very end how if I want to rank for the search term WordPress SEO expert, my blog post title is going to say, somewhere in the title is going to have WordPress SEO expert. I see a lot of blog posts that they'll say like summertime 2014, okay? So if I type that into a search engine, summertime 2014, you're never going to find me. So that's blogging for SEO, which is a different topic, but it's one of the top ways I get a site to rank. When I tell them, if anyone went to Clint's presentation where he mentioned how he saw my presentation And I kept insisting, you have to blog for SEO, and he did it. And now if you type in WordPress developer Connecticut, he's the top guy because, you know, he was just doing it the right way. Smart guy. So let me show you one of the interior pages with the same plugin, and I'll show you how it looks on the interior pages, because that was the general setting. Okay, residential espresso coffee machines. So I'm going to go to edit. And there's your site, your page title. And then down here, come on. Down here, oh, down here we didn't do it. Oh, well, down here, that's funny. Down here, I was supposed to do it, but he's ranking really well on that term. He's ranking really well, but it would be down here. Isn't that great? That's why live is great. Let me show you another one. Here's another site. Now, you know how they say sites, you need a lot of content on a site, and everyone focuses on content. You need content, you need content, you need words in there. Here's a site designed by Cindy Whiting. Hi, Cindy. Sorry. Throw it out there. She designed this site. This site has absolutely zero content. So, like, it's just images, right? The only content you have is right here, and really doesn't do anything. But I have them ranking extremely well. If you type in, here, architects, Fairfield County, Connecticut. Here they are, right there, number 3. You're not going to take them down. Number 3. And look at the amazing thing. This site up here, when we click on it, look at all the stuff they're writing just so they can rank, right? And what they actually are, they're more like a directory for architects. So of course they're going to rank really well because they're a directory with tons of content. My point is that you do not need tons of content, and you hear it all the time. It's the new thing. Content is king. Content's always been king. Content, if you have a WordPress site and you optimize it properly, using the proper title tags, proper plugins, using the update services, using your sitemaps properly, the robot.txt files, you will rank well without the content. The way around it is, does everyone know what alt tags are? Alternative tags, right? You put the keyword you want to rank for on the tag. So this whole site is ranking because of alternative tags. Now we're going to start building a services page for the services they offer, because they really want to get deep into niche areas. So that's when now we start building out. And I'll show you an example. Here's another site designed by Cindy. This is Rizzuto's. And I optimized this site. And he has 4 locations, I think? 4? He has 4 locations. And there was no way I was going to rank 4 locations, you know, on here. So what did we do? We created the locations. So now when you go, here it is, Italian restaurant and bar in Bethel, Connecticut. It talks about it. So if you type in Italian restaurant, Bethel, Connecticut, he's on top. And that is, we'll show you an example of that. Restaurant in Bethel, Connecticut, or even restaurant in Bethel, Connecticut. He's on the carousel, all right, because he's got 10 reviews, so you want your reviews on there. And there he is, he's ranking, and there's the title tag. Bethel, Connecticut, Italian restaurant. I mentioned it here, so he's ranking right on top. So if I put Stanford, he's going to rank on top. So he pretty much, TripAdvisor will always be there on top because no one's going to take them down. But he took Yelp down. I took Yelp down. I said, bye, Yelp. So he's also ranking for every search term on top of Google, for every search term he asked me to rank for, using that strategy of using targeted landing pages. So let me show you the back end of this site. Here's lawyers that me and Clint worked together on this. I did the initial optimization, and then Clint did some optimization. What's unique about this site is that to try to rank for brain injury attorney, just for the term brain injury attorney, is almost impossible. So my strategy was a little different for this site to say, all right, how am I going to make this site rank on top for brain injury attorney? So what I did was, let's go, show you a strategy I used in this one. So we started blogging, a lot of blogging. And if you go to traumatic brain injury, I'll show you what happens here. The internet is very slow right now. So New York City traumatic brain injury attorney. Here's a link to traumatic brain injury and view related cases. When you go here, it's going kind of slow, but it has related brain injury cases. So Google knows this site has authority for the search term brain injury. See, brain injury there, brain injury here. So it's really like a blog. And as you see, the blog continues mentioning brain injury, traumatic brain injury, brain injury. So now I block so much about brain injury that Google said, oh yeah, you're going to take everyone else down. We're going to put you on top of Google. I used the Yoast plugin. Anyone here using the Yoast plugin? Wow. Anyone using the all-in-one? All right. Kudos to you. And I'm going to show you the problems with Yoast. Now, Yoast is a great plugin. Really is a great plugin for beginners. But because it's a plugin for beginners, you have to be really, really careful. It works excellent for anyone, professionals, beginners. But the trap beginners fall into, and I wanted to show this, and I have written Yoast so many times about this, and they've yet to change it. And I said, this is my opportunity to show people why. So as you notice at the Yoast plugin, it always has this right here. Right? So you guys are using the Yoast plugin, you type in the focus keyword, right? That's the keyword I want to rank for. And then it'll give you a green light up here. Let's go up here. It says check your SEO, you're yellow, that's a caution. Oh my God, your page is not optimized correct. You better fix this. So now you start trying to fix this. And you're like, oh, now I got it. Everything's green, everything's yes. Here's the problem. Right here it says traumatic brain injury attorney, doesn't it? Right? Over here it says traumatic brain injury. It totally mentions traumatic brain injury. If you look at the URL, let's go to the page. It clearly says in the URL traumatic brain injury attorney, right? Now let's go back to the plugin and let's see what the plugin is telling me. So now the plugin is telling me that no, it's not in my article heading. Yes, it is. Yes, it's in my page title. It's not in the URL. It's not in the content, and it's not in the meta description, when it clearly is in the meta description. It's a big bug that Yoast, and that's why I do not use Yoast. Because if it has that bug, I found a bunch of other bugs that it has, but that's through my research and due diligence. So it works as a standard standalone, using your title tags, your meta description. But if you start following this, so disregard this when you're using Yoast, if you are using Yoast. Just disregard that, because it doesn't recognize that I can use attorneys or lawyers. So if I'm using traumatic brain injury lawyers right here, right? But I'm using the word attorney here, I'm still using the keyword in there, right? But here it's telling me it's not in my meta description, because this keyword, if I change this to lawyers, now it's a yes. Even though I was using, see, so you have to be careful with that, because that could, if you have your page set up to rank, and I've had clients say, well, you did my SEO, and I went into the back end, and Yoast is telling me that it's wrong. I'm like, no, Yoast is wrong. That's right. So just be careful with that. Don't go by this. All right? I could do a 2-hour study on Yoast, all in Yoast plugin, but I won't. But it is a good plugin though. Just be careful with that part.
What was the other plugin?
I use the all-in-one, but if I'm using the Genesis framework, I use just their SEO. It's perfect. So let me show you here. I use a program called Advanced Web Ranking. And what it does, it gives you a ranking report of every single keyword they're ranking for. So as you see Google there, it shows in first place you got 574, top 10, 906 keywords. And I love using this because instead of typing in the search term or using the Moz keyword tool, I use this. Not only does the advanced web ranking do a keyword ranking report, it also analyzes the entire sites and finds errors. It does your social media. And it only, I don't sell this product. I'm not even a reseller. I'm just telling you because I love it. The product alone costs over $1,000, but if you go to their site, who blogs here? Anyone blogs? All right, for those bloggers, if you want this, you go to their site, you blog about their product, and you tell them, send them an email saying you're a blogger, you want to blog about a product, they give you the tool for free with everything. And the package they give you is like a $5,000 package for free just for blogging.
Who's this?
Advanced web ranking.
How are you blogging about it if you don't?
Huh? Because I'm sorry, you have to download the trial version. They give you a trial version for, I think, 2 weeks, and then they tell you, okay, now blog about your experience with it. Thank you. That was a good question. So, just throwing that out there. And let's go back to here. And that's it. That's about it. I showed you that. I showed you that. And questions? Shoot. We'll start from here.
I've heard this from a couple of sources.
Sure.
And it seems to conflict with what you said. If you have a site hosted by WordPress, you cannot get picked up by the Google AdSense program.
Hosted by WordPress. Yeah, a WordPress.com site, yes.
So you have to go to Gator or somebody like that?
No. There's WordPress.org
Uh-huh.
and there's WordPress.com.
Right.
Then you have to host it yourself. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, right now, I just started it like 2.5 years
Okay.
ago. And so it's on WordPress.com.
Oh, I see what you're
The
saying.
addition is to get picked up by Google. So they said that I have to switch the hosting of the
Oh,
site.
no. You can get picked up by Google on WordPress.com.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have clients who have WordPress.com and they got picked up by Google.
Right, so there's no magic to it? You
No, you just use it, use keywords in there, and it works. I'm going to go in order this way, all right? You're next. Oh, where do you go to learn more? Great question. I'm going to put my card here. And you can learn from me and call me anytime you want.
You started to mention something about the alternate.
Alt tags.
Yeah, alt tags.
Yes.
What would you do for that?
Yep. So the alt tags, I'm just going to show you on this site real quick. You go to Media. Let's go to the library. These are all the same. Edit. And right here, I use medical malpractice tips instead of img.045, the image description. And here's your alternative text. I used it here, so I didn't feel like using it here, but you can use it here. And that's where you put your alt tag. That's where you put your keyword. So for the page, if the page is about coffee machine rental, and you have an image on that page, right here you will put coffee machine rental. And that's a keyword. We're gonna go all the way down.
I had the same question.
Okay.
What is the name of the PowerPoint again? You said that to find the PowerPoint convention.
Oh, WordCamp CT. WordCamp CT.
Oh.
Just type it in Google and you'll see it's on SlideShare. I just put it up a little while ago.
Is it WordPress SEO?
WordCamp CT for Connecticut.
Why is it you had to do CT word?
Oh, no, that's the hashtag. No, just on Google Word. Or go to SlideShare at the end of my presentation here. So I totally forgot about this. Hold on. There's much more to learn. Da, 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 da. Totally forgot about that. There we go. So if you go to SlideShare, right here, and you see my old company, PR on the ground. The presentation's there along with other WordCamp presentations I've done throughout my short life.
Is it important to use hashtags as well as keywords?
Yeah, hashtags, yes, on social media, absolutely.
On your post or page though?
No,
Okay.
you don't have to use hashtags at all.
Yeah, I've heard a couple of different things about using H1s. Some people say only use like one H1 per page, then do H2s, other people
Okay.
use as many as they
We'll
want.
clear that up right now. The H1 tag is the title. When you have a post and you have to put the title, that's your title. So that's automatic. You don't have to. The H2 tag is what's below that, which, right below. You want to use an H2, but you don't have to. As I showed you with Rizzuto's, actually not Rizzuto's, I use H2. But Kugno, there were no H2 tags. People say you need H2. You don't really need, it helps. But Google doesn't, as far as Google's algorithm goes, that's this small as far as the algorithm. Over there and over there. Yeah.
What's your view on the new tendency towards one-page websites in terms of the impact on SEO, the one-page web design?
You could do one, I have a couple of one-page websites that lead to, I call them really landing pages. And they're great. I love it for AdWords campaigns. By the way, if you're doing, real quick, if you're doing I'm running out of time here. If you're doing an AdWords campaign and you're spending money on AdWords and you're going right to your website, you're throwing your money out the window, you always want a landing page with the type of conversion you want to convert.
One quick question. If you have, like the place that had, the restaurant that had 4 locations, do you create 4 local pages for them?
Yes.
Okay.
That's your targeted, I call them organic landing pages. So, I create for, or if you have 10 different services, 1 page for each service. Check that out. LinkedIn is very important for me. So if you like my presentation, friend me on LinkedIn and give me a nice recommendation.
How do custom post types affect SEO?
I love custom post types.
So they don't affect them at all?
No, not at all. They're actually really good.
What's a custom post type? What?
Custom post type, that's a whole other section. Yeah, we'll get into that. You 2 weeks to the side. Any more questions? So, she had asked about learning more about this. Honestly, if you want to know more about it, shoot me an email. I always make time. I've done many WordPress WordCamp presentations, and I've always answered every single email. Feel free to email me. Find it on SlideShare. Thank you very much.